What do you do when your parrot is probably young, maybe new, at least new to you, and you're in a situation where either the two questions I had are a young Senegal that wants to be with the new keeper but keeps biting pretty bad, like, be with me, bite, be with me, I want your attention, bite, or a situation where your 6-month-old Linnie that you just got from a pet store is really shy, doesn't want out of the cage, doesn't, when you leave the door open all day, doesn't come out, and isn't motivated by treats. How do you handle these kinds of situations to take your relationship forward and start to create a bond? Hey guys, I'm Kaylin, the author of The Parrot Bliss Bond and the new book, Get to Know African Gray and Cape Parrots. Check those out and get your copy today on Amazon.com. If you know me, then you know that I have over 20 species of parrots. Parrots are my bliss. I love parrots. And I also love talking about parrots and helping you create a blissful bond with your parrot to reduce the need for rescues. So how do we handle these difficult situations? Let's get started. I'm going to start today by introducing my new Quaker. I have two new Quakers. This is Cookie. In the last couple of days, I decided to spend time with them separately to try to tame them, because I did choose to get two so that they would keep each other company, but that means that they don't need to bond with me. So I do spend time with both of them, but I also just started spending time with one at a time. Now I'm going to also start by telling you that my Quakers, I don't think they want to come out of their cage, but even if they did, the problem is they're in the big bird room and they would come out and be with the birds, not necessarily me. So I do have to reach in, I do have to grab them, and then I do have to take them to another room so that they can be with me. You could see that today I took Cookie and I put Cookie on a tether. And so it's tethered to Cookie's ankle, because even though Cookie is clipped, the Quakers came clipped. I didn't have a choice. When I met them, they were already clipped. I'm just trying to be safe, and I'm also trying to teach Cookie to be on a tether and to be with me, kind of thing. So with the Linnie, one of the things is you are probably going to need to just go and lovingly grab the Linnie. But whether you have a biting bird that does come out but bites you, or a bird that doesn't want to come out and is super, super shy, in either case, one of the things that you have to do is you have to really establish some alpha-ness, or top of the pecking order. So one of the things that happens is parrots, they do respond to the pecking order. Even though most parrots are going to bond with one other parrot or person, there is a hierarchy to their flock, because they are, generally speaking, flock animals, flock birds. So one of the things you need to do is, I know that you can easily kind of feel like, when my daughter and I get bitten, we're kind of sad. I mean, it's kind of like you're trying to bond, you're trying to connect, you're taking care of your new pet, and in exchange, a vampire's coming forward and biting you. It's hard. So that goes on, and the same kind of thing happens when you've got this new Linnie. It's so cute. You really want to bond. You could tell it's scared. You want it to understand that you want to be its friend. You want to take care of it. It's safe, and it's just not happening. So the first thing you need to do is you kind of need to decide within yourself that you are at the top of the pecking order. And then in that mindset, and with the intent that you have to really create a bond, start to carry that energy, because parrots respond to energy. When I was at the Bird Gardens of Naples, which is this amazing rescue, I really, really like Bird Gardens. We got one of our Amazons from there. one of the things Carrie, the owner, told me is that parrots really behave differently around different people because different people have different energies. So it's really important that you put yourself in that top of the pecking order. I'm here to take care of you. It's not an angry mode. It's not a forceful mode. It is a very certain mode. I am certain about this. I am the one that's going to take care of you. And then when you're feeling it, also tell them. Not because they understand the words, but again, because they understand the energy. But parrots are also really, really good at body language. So they'll pick up on your tone, they'll pick up on your body language. In that tone and that body language, approach them and really try to keep that on your forefront kind of thing of your mind, that you are doing this for them. With the Senegal or any other parrot that bites, I would tell them, look, I really want to connect with you, but I need you to stop biting me. And then in a minute, I'm going to tell you some actionable steps. With the Linnie, I would really approach the Linnie with a nice, calm energy, and I would let them know that I really want to provide a nice, safe place for them. Now, when you take the Linnie out of their cage, you need to figure out what kind of safe place you can put them in. And what I mean by that is, you could put the Linnie on like a couch or something, at which point they might go and hide, or on a perch, but I would make sure that the perch has several branches and something that helps them feel a little hidden, because they're feeling really insecure. And so one of the things you need to do is provide a sense of security. And in some ways, the more you can do it quickly and not draw out the experience, the better. In other words, the Linnie can take a day, and this isn't entirely up to you, but can take a day or like 3 years to figure out that you and the home are a new but safe place, that this is the new abode for the Linnie. Now, it is a little harder when there's no other birds, and I don't know if that's the case or not, and that's simply because I have birds at the front of my house, parrots, and when I do, we get wild birds. We get wild birds, especially, sometimes I'll throw out my remnants, like my parrots eat their pellets or their seeds, and then they leave the husks, or we're left with parrot dust or pellet dust, and we'll take that when we're giving them a new clean bowl. We'll take the old one and sprinkle it outside for the wild birds. And they come. And one of the reasons they come, though, is because they hear other birds, so they assume it's a safe place. And that's because when parrots aren't safe, they sound an alarm. So they take care of each other. And so having just one Linnie in and of itself is an unsafe thing, relatively speaking, for the Linnie or any parrot. They register that as there's no other birds here. That's the first sign that there's something wrong, that this could be dangerous. So I always advocate for having 2 of a species, but certainly at least 2, because the minute parrots see another bird, everything changes. The minute they can hear other parrots, everything changes. They relax. The same exact thing happened with my Quakers. I got one the first day, brought Pretzel home. Pretzel was kind of uneasy. The next day I went back and I got Cookie. I brought Cookie home, and I could see Pretzel's anxiety drop. So that's one thing you could do that would really help. And it might help with the Seni too. Senis are a little trickier. They are not solo birds, but they're not bonded the same way a lot of other birds are, like the Linnies or the Quakers or Conures. Senegals don't always take 2 other Senegals, and so you might need 2 cages, but just having 2 means that they have a flock and they don't have to rely so much on you. One reason the Senegal might be biting is simply to say, you left me. Like they're sort of expressing their frustration that you're not with them all the time, because they're with their flock all the time, even if they're not bonded and right next to their flock like this all the time. So, actionable, important steps. One of the things you need to teach your Senegal is that the biting's not okay. Reprimanding won't work. Getting mad won't work. Nothing will work except taking some actionable steps, like in which you are teaching your Senegal that the biting is going to actually remove what your Senegal wants. Your Senegal fortunately wants your attention. That puts you in a really good position. So when your Senegal bites you, you have a couple of different options. Option number one, you just pick them up and put them down. Put them down somewhere. If it's safe, if you have no predators in your house, no cats, no dogs, you can put them on the ground. This is going to make them uncomfortable, and it's your way of saying that wasn't okay. You don't say anything, you don't yell. You simply put them down, and then you count 1, 2, 3, and pick them back up. And then tell them, please don't bite me. Let's be gentle and get into that mindset again. I'm here to take care of you. We're going to have a really great bond. And you are in a position where you can say, look, it's kind of like my way or no way, because if you bite me, I'm going to put you down. Option number 2, when parrots bug each other, one of the things they do is they kind of make, I can't make it, sort of like a ah sound. Did you see that? Cookie had a reaction. And that's what you want to do. You want them to have a reaction, but that's a sound that they make with each other, which is kind of like a, hey, I didn't like that. So try that sound. You could try listening for it, and if you have more than one parrot, you'll be able to hear it. If you only have one, you probably won't hear it. But try that sound, see if they stop, and kind of look at you like, oh, because you're saying, you know what, that doesn't work for me. Because they do that for each other. They're like, this is okay, this isn't okay. Third actionable step for a parrot that's biting you to, in their way, say no, in their way, let them know that it's not okay without hurting them, without damaging them, without damaging your relationship, without being abusive or anything like that. The third way is parrots will also lunge at each other's feet. Now, I didn't say hurt, I didn't say poke, I didn't say anything. I said kind of lunge. So I don't want to do it to Cookie because that would get the wrong message across. But if my neck was a parrot, I would just go like that to their feet. You just touch their feet, and and if you can couple that with that's telling them I didn't like that behavior. So try these 3 different actionable steps. Don't forget, you don't do it in a mode of anger or anything like that. You just do it. You don't think, you don't feel angry, you don't feel hurt. You just do it in a, that's not okay, but we're correcting. That's not okay. So I'm trying to let you know. And then when your parrot spends 1 second, especially 2 or 3 seconds, not biting you, you totally change modes as if you're psychotic. I know that sounds funny, but you go from that to, you totally change modes, and you're like, thank you for being so sweet. You're so loving. And you just bathe them energetically, emotionally, verbally in, I really love you. I really appreciate our bond. You're so sweet. I know you want to spend time with me. I want to spend time with you too. In the mindset of that, in the energy of that, in the feeling of that, in the words of that. And then if they bite you again, you go psychotic and you go back to no thoughts, no feelings, no anger, no hurt, just simply your 3 steps. Put them down, try going, or just touch their feet and repeat. And then, you do this several times and they will start to respond, or at least I've never seen a bird not respond to that. With smaller parrots like a Senegal, and I mean smaller relatively compared to my macaw who lunges at me all the time, they're kind of easier to handle and to modify their behavior in these ways. Macaws, they're big and they know that, for example, my macaw knows that she can intimidate all the other birds. So she knows she can intimidate people. People, when they meet her, they're like, hi, and they back up, and she knows it. So she's harder to let know that she can't do that, but it's not undoable. My point to you is, when you have a smaller bird like the Senegal, believe it or not, if you do this, it'll improve. And don't forget, you kind of have to go psychotic because I don't want you to express your anger. I don't want you to express your hurt. That's going to muddy the waters. I want you to be real black and white about, you're either really appreciating them and bonding with them, or you're simply giving them the consequence of you know, the 3 consequences we talked about. And that's it. And when you do that, it's just so simple. It's a lot harder to do with this big macaw whose beak is, you know, like half the size of my Quaker. Okay, now, with the Linnie, like I was saying, one of the most important things is make sure that they have a safe place when they come out and put food around them. I have 2 Linnies that they were with the breeder, and I think they were like 3 months old when I got them, and they were already not so tame. Linnies are really, really fantastic, but if they're not handled, I think, a significant amount when they're little, it seems like their window's kind of a little short. And I think that they can come around. I find that even my untamed ones are still interested in trying to connect with me. One of my untamed ones has eggs right now, and actually she had a couple eggs hatch, and I can check on her babies, I can check on her, and she doesn't bite me. So just be patient, because Linnies are, my experience is Linnies are really, really sweet, really, really fantastic. And I know this sounds bad, but if you take them out of the cage and just have them spend time with you, your Linnie, she or he will quickly learn that it's okay. But if you can, don't spend like a minute, don't spend 5 minutes, don't spend 10 minutes. Try to spend like 4 hours. I know that's a lot to ask. My greatest taming job was a green cheek conure that was like 2 years old and was not tame. And I tamed him in a week. And one of the ways I did it is he was on a harness and he was with me for like 4 to 6 hours a day. By the end of the week, he was like snuggling up and sleeping with me. But time is the magical ingredient. So you really need to spend the time with both of, you know, with any parrot. Unless it's an independent parrot like the Asiatics, that becomes a little different. But spending a lot of time with them makes a really big difference. And in the case of the Linnie, I really, really would get a second one. It's going to make a huge difference. They're just communal, and that is a just absolute requirement to their feeling safe and secure. It's like you know, if you woke up and all of a sudden there were no other humans around anywhere you could see in your environment, you'd get really nervous, and that nervousness wouldn't really go away, at least not easily, not quickly, and you just wouldn't feel the same until another human really showed up. So keep that in mind, because that'll really help. Thanks for joining me in this blissful video. May that help your bond with your Senegal and your Linnie or any other parrot you have. Please be sure to comment below, and I will catch you in the next feathered video.